I've been catching heat simply for waiting patiently to see Shedeur Sanders in action. But throughout each session, it was the same quarterback carousel. Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, back to Flacco, then Gabriel again. Not a single glimpse of Shedeur all day. An entire segment dedicated to low red zone team drills and all passing plays with these, and every single snap was divided between Gabriel and Flacco. Translation? Either Kenny Pickett isn't healthy enough to suit up for this portion of camp, or the coaching staff is subtly suggesting Shedeur Sanders isn't yet worthy of those reps. Gabriel, I through no fault of his own, breaks one of my golden rules of quarterbacking. He's undersized. And not just slightly, we're talking legitimately tiny. Something bizarre is unfolding at Brown's camp. On day 9, Shedeur Sanders, the much-hyped rookie and presumed future of the franchise, was once again left watching from the sidelines. This comes just one day after he delivered a stellar practice performance. And today, not a single rep with the offense. So what's really going on here? Is this just part of a long-term plan, or are deeper politics at play? Let's unpack it. Today, Shedeur was completely shut out of reps, 0. While some whispers suggest minor arm soreness may be the culprit, nothing concrete has been confirmed. What's even more puzzling is the continued priority being placed on Dylan Gabriel, who's been getting an inexplicable amount of run with the first team, despite visibly struggling. His recent performances have been riddled with overthrows, delayed decisions, and a general lack of poise. And yet he keeps getting chances like he's earned them. Yesterday, Gabriel was an outright disaster. He completed just 3 of his 14 attempts, and that includes multiple misfires to wide-open receivers. Let's look at one sequence in particular. At one point today, Gabriel dropped back, clearly trying to reset his footing and scan the field. But something was off. He froze. He couldn't find his read, and rather than reset or improvise, he launched a blind pass. The result? A telegraphed interception right into the hands of a lurking defender. It was the type of mental lapse you expect from an overwhelmed rookie, not someone splitting first-team reps. But that wasn't even the worst of it. On another play, the defense collapsed the pocket, clamping down the middle. The entire left side of the field was wide open. All Gabriel had to do was roll out, use his legs, and either scramble or find his receiver in stride. But instead, he panicked. He fired a reckless pass straight into traffic. No lane, no vision, no awareness. Just a wasted opportunity and another turnover. This isn't just a miscue, it's a red flag. And yet he's still running with the starters while Shedeur stands idle. According to multiple sources from camp, it appears Shedeur may be nursing mild arm soreness, possibly the reason behind today's absence. Thankfully, there were no signs of major injury. He walked off calmly, no limp, no trainers in tow. It's likely just precautionary, and if so, expect him back shortly, hungrier than ever. Because if there's one thing we know about Shedeur Sanders, it's that he thrives on doubt. What might be a minor setback for others will become rocket fuel for him. When he returns, it won't be quietly. It'll be with fire in his eyes and something to prove. Meanwhile, Gabriel's tape from today was filled with unforced errors. Even on reps where he had time and space, he couldn't deliver. One glaring example, the receiver broke wide open downfield. A flawless route, not a defender in sight. Gabriel had a clean pocket, unobstructed view, and he still missed. The question is no longer, why isn't Shedeur playing? It's quickly becoming, how long can this coaching staff ignore what everyone else can clearly see? All he needed to do was deliver a simple, well-timed throw with finesse and accuracy. Instead, Gabriel panicked, again. The ball came out awkwardly, far too low, and off the mark, slipping right through the hands of a clearly frustrated receiver. Another opportunity squandered? These misfires are beginning to accumulate. and it's becoming increasingly difficult to understand why the Browns continue allocating valuable first-team reps to Dylan Gabriel, while someone as talented as Shedeur Sanders stands idle on the sideline. Maybe Nick Wright was right after all. Dylan Gabriel is simply undersized for the position, and Wright didn't mince words. While he acknowledged that Gabriel shows flashes of raw talent when he's composed, he emphasized a harsh but undeniable truth. His stature is a liability at the professional level. In Wright's own words, Gabriel will never be the future quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. Gabriel, again, through no personal shortcoming other than genetics, violates one of my cardinal principles of quarterback evaluation. He's simply too small, and in this league, that matters. On the other hand, veteran analyst Chris Broussard also weighed in, and he was crystal clear. He urged the Browns to give Shedeur Sanders a real shot. Broussard didn't dance around it. He demanded the team let Sanders show what he can do in meaningful game situations. His stance? If Shedeur delivers the way many expect, Cleveland may finally have found the franchise quarterback it has desperately needed for decades. So what can Shedeur actually do? The better question is, what hasn't he already shown? Just yesterday, Sanders was ahead of the curve in every aspect of training camp. And it wasn't just about the stats, though those were impressive too. It was his presence, the way he commanded the huddle, his poise at the line, the sharpness in his reads, the effortless way he adjusted to defensive shifts mid-play. Shedeur didn't look like a rookie. He looked like a general. Every rep was clean, every decision crisp. Pressure didn't rattle him, it refined him. These are the defining traits of a true QB1. But what truly separates Shedeur Sanders from the rest isn't just his physical tools, it's his mind. His approach is different, elevated. While others chase validation through wins and highlight reels, Shedeur operates from a grounded and intentional place. I remind myself to find the goodness in small things, he said recently. It's a simple statement, but behind it is a powerful philosophy, one that keeps him centered amid chaos and immune to outside noise. He understands that he's living the dream, on the very path he envisioned since childhood. That awareness doesn't weaken his drive, it fortifies it. He carries himself with maturity well beyond his years, balancing expectation with gratitude and turning pressure into purpose. That kind of mindset? You can't teach that. And it's why Shedeur continues to rise while others spiral under the spotlight. I just try to find the good in things, Shedeur said. Every day is a consistent journey, a constant battle. But I believe I'm handling it the way I'm supposed to. With Shedeur Sanders, there's more than just hope. There's vision. There's clarity. There's a roadmap to the future. His recent absence from team drills, likely due to precautionary arm soreness, is a mere speed bump. All signs indicate a strong return is imminent. And when that moment comes, the Browns' front office and coaching staff must have the foresight to act. Because the clock is tied to do was roll out, use his legs, and either scramble or find his receiver in stride. But instead he panicked. He fired a reckless pass straight into traffic. No lane, no vision, no awareness. Just a wasted opportunity and another turnover. This isn't just a miscue, it's a red flag. And yet he's still running with the starters while Shedeur stands idle. According to multiple sources from camp, it appears Shedeur may be nursing mild arm soreness, possibly the reason behind today's absence. Thankfully, there were no signs of major injury. He walked off calmly, no limp, no trainers in tow. It's likely just precautionary, and if so, expect him back shortly, hungrier than ever. Because if there's one thing we know about Shedeur Sanders, it's that he thrives on doubt. What might be a minor setback for others will become rocket fuel for him. When he returns, it won't be quietly. It'll be with fire in his eyes and something to prove. Meanwhile, Gabriel's tape from today was filled with unforced errors. Even on reps where he had time and space, he couldn't deliver. One glaring example: the receiver broke wide open downfield, a flawless route, not a defender in sight. Gabriel had a clean pocket, unobstructed view, and he still missed. The question is no longer, why isn't Shedeur playing? It's quickly becoming, how long can this coaching staff ignore what everyone else can clearly see? The Cleveland Browns quarterback saga has erupted into a full-blown spectacle, dominating headlines after Shedeur Sanders electrified practice with a string of jaw-dropping performances. What began as routine training camp drills has spiraled into a high-stakes showdown that's igniting fierce debate across Berea and beyond. Insiders reveal that Sanders, a fifth-round selection, has commandeered every practice for 6 consecutive days. And it's not going unnoticed. The atmosphere within the organization has grown palpably tense, with players feeling the heat and the coaching staff seemingly fractured. Analysts say the coaches are no longer aligned on who should lead this offense. And this isn't just another QB competition. It's a potential powder keg that could fracture the team before the preseason even begins. The numbers are staggering. Sanders is reportedly completing a blistering 78% of his passes, not against backups, but against the Browns' elite first-team defense. By contrast, Dylan Gabriel is struggling to hit 65%, and that's against the second-string unit. Sanders consistently delivers deep precision strikes while Gabriel opts for short, conservative throws. In the red zone, the difference is even more stark. Sanders is punching it in for touchdowns 8 out of 10 drives, while Gabriel settles for field goals more often than not. Coaches have taken notice. Some are astonished by Sanders' rapid ascension, calling it a daily evolution in poise, command, and accuracy. Yet, despite the unmistakable separation in performance, Sanders has yet to receive extended first-team reps in live scrimmages. Fans are growing impatient. With veteran Kenny Pickett sidelined 4 to 6 weeks due to a grade 2 hamstring strain, the quarterback carousel has narrowed, and all eyes are now locked on Sanders. But even with mounting evidence favoring the rookie, the coaching staff continues to publicly support Gabriel, clinging to their original developmental blueprint. Behind closed doors, however, nerves are beginning to fray. Some officials believe Sanders isn't quite ready mentally or schematically. But in the locker room, there's little doubt. Veteran players are quietly advocating for Sanders to get the starting nod. Defensive standouts admit his throws are so precise they're nearly impossible to defend. The momentum shifted definitively during one pivotal moment, a flawless 2-minute drill orchestrated by Sanders against the first-team defense. He read coverages like a seasoned pro, delivered pinpoint strikes under pressure, and made decisive, intelligent adjustments on the fly. His teammates exploded in celebration, but on the sidelines, the coaching staff remained eerily emotionless, as if refusing to acknowledge what had just happened. Minutes later, Gabriel attempted a similar drill. It was a disaster. Incomplete passes, hesitation, and a brutal interception. The contrast was jarring. This is no longer a fair fight. Sanders is clearly in command, and beneath the surface, the fracture lines are spreading. In the locker room, the divide is growing. Veteran leaders are increasingly siding with Sanders, praising his confidence, leadership, and elite-level accuracy. One anonymous wide receiver remarked, "This kid is making throws we didn't think were possible." Everyone sees it. Even the defenders are stunned. A veteran linebacker privately echoed the sentiment. "He's reading our plays like he's been in the league for a decade." Internally, the coaching staff is at a crossroads. Head coach Kevin Stefanski is facing a brutal decision. Stick with the original plan, hand the reins to Gabriel, or pivot toward the undeniable truth unfolding on the field. Sources close to the team claim the original intent was to ease Sanders in slowly while grooming Gabriel as the immediate starter. But that plan is unraveling fast. The QB coach is quietly pushing for Sanders to ascend. Meanwhile, the offensive coordinator continues to speak publicly as if Gabriel's position is secure. Stefanski is stuck. Either embrace the emerging reality or risk losing credibility with both the locker room and the fan base. Meanwhile, cracks are showing in Gabriel's demeanor. Those close to the team report he's visibly frustrated, showing signs of emotional wear during practices and retreating into himself during meetings. What once felt like a formality, Gabriel's ascension, now feels like a fading promise. Sanders' rise has destabilized everything. Meetings that were once collaborative have grown icy. Tension, not teamwork, is the new norm. Veteran players are starting to worry that the internal discord could derail the entire season. Then came the media firestorm. After practice, reporters pressed Sanders about the escalating quarterback drama. His answers weren't just polished, they were masterful. Thank you guys, see you next video.